This time on Hak5, we are at the Mubix layer doing a little bit of man-in-the-middle attacks with Midler, social engineering toolkits, Spotify in the United States, MAC address spoofing, and a whole lot of fail. My name's Darren Kitchen. You're watching Hak5. This episode of Hak5 is brought to you by Gamefly, GoToAssist Express, and Domain.com. Got a great idea? It all starts with a great domain. Hello and welcome to Hak5. My name is Darren Kitchen.
And I'm Rob Ruller.
And you are watching the show that is all about technolust and voiding warranties, breaking in stuff, you know, securing your stuff.
Way too many thumbs at the beginning of that.
Well, you can never have too many. It's the internet. They're all good with that.
Yes.
I feel very indignation right now. Hak5 is on the road. Well, we were in Toronto. Let's see, Hospital, Toronto. Now we're in Casa de Mubix. Nice place you got here.
Thank you.
Digging the studio lights that you just had set up for this or something?
Well, the contractor set them all up on the same light switch, so I can't really do anything about them.
Look good to me. Yeah, and then I think right after this we're in Vegas for CES. So one of these days we're gonna have an episode back at the studio. But until then, let's get our Technolust on.
All right.
Yeah.
So what's up?
Well, we have a couple of feedbacks and other fun stuff to get into in the A block. I'm talking about, this is not a twist off.
No, it's not. That's why I said let's try this first.
Well, let's see. I'm going to be playing with some man-in-the-middle stuff. You guys remember last week I was talking about some, thank you.
Him and tools. Bad idea.
Oh, yeah, because, you know, especially some of these open source ones that aren't completely fleshed out. So I've been playing with the Midler, and you guys remember...
Dig.
Sorry. No, JBL's really cool, and if you haven't seen it already, go back to the ShmooCon 2009 episode and check it out, because we did an interview with JBL about Midler, and it's a very cool tool, so I'm finally playing with it here because it's had a lot of development since then. It's got a 1.0 release candidate that's out, and so we're going to be playing with a little bit of that later on. I know that we've got some Spotify, some Etherpads, some encryptions, and some virtual machines, and all sorts of good stuff.
We do?
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah?
Sure.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever floats your boat. Let's go, man.
All right, cool. Well, one of our first questions comes in from Mohammed, as well as many other viewers that wrote in to ask about the previous segment where we talked about crypt setup for Ubuntu, how you can go ahead and easily encrypt your USB drives on just about any Linux that's using the 2.6.4 kernel or later. And,
okay.
Or did I get it backwards? 2.4, 2.6? No, 2.6.4. And yeah, it's good stuff, but no, it's not cross-platform. You plug it into a Windows machine, and it's not going to know what the hell to do with it, which could be good or bad depending on your situation. But yeah, if you're looking for encryption cross-platform, we can't speak highly enough about TrueCrypt. Are you still in on TrueCrypt? I mean, is that still your baby?
I am, but what do you need cross-platform hard full disk encryption for?
Well, it's you know, just for your thumb drive, so not like your hard drive.
Ah.
Yeah, but
okay.
you know, it's nice when you're going from machine to. I mean, how many machines do you use in an average day?
A lot.
Yeah. How many are you at the physical keyboard of though?
A lot.
Okay, and mixed operating systems, I'm sure.
True. Everything
but BSD, pretty much.
Not yet.
We got to hate on something.
No, I'm trying out BSD.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yep. Axon from the HIR report.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good guy. He really had an awesome post on like the Holy War and what BSD, FreeBSD and OpenBSD, and so I don't start going all crazy on them.
Just pick two operating systems, say Holy War, and yes, it exists.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyways, I started playing with some FreeBSD, and it's okay. It's secure.
I was using it on a shell for the longest time, but then I don't have a shell anymore.
It's a good first shell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, unless you're only doing shell stuff, I don't.
I'm surprised you're using it. I'm surprised you're in Windows here. I mean, you're in Windows and in Backtrack, so you know, saving grace there. And then noticed you had about a bazillion virtual machines, and you're a VirtualBox guy too, right?
Well, so I'm a VirtualBox guy, except for on this laptop, which I'm hating it really a lot right now because when I do the pipe, and I use pipe a lot,
Yeah, you kind of can't help it.
it does a greater than sign. So I haven't figured out how to remap it.
You get some key bindings you need to be doing. Yeah.
Well, I switched it to UK and it works, but all the other keys don't work.
Yeah, this show isn't brought to you by Asus or anything, but yeah, we are.
Speaking of the UK.
Them, yeah. Oh, okay. So you want to get into that now?
Sure.
Okay. Well, this was brought up when we were talking about shells, and last week we were talking about that music service Spotify, and we went ahead and did a little bit of testing to see, what the deal is, because as you guys know, Spotify, awesome new Web 2.0 music service. Basically, download this, play any music you can ever think of.
Make playlists, and you don't have to be like Pandora. Pandora's awesome. I love Pandora.
And Pandora's Jar. The one that rips the music to the Hak5 forms. Anyway, so.
No comment. I love you, Pandora. But Spotify, you can pick the songs and put them in the playlist just as if you had them.
It's just like iTunes, and
it's all Well, it's mostly streaming, except for you pay something.
There's a €10 a month premium service, and I haven't looked into it too much. But
that's only if you want to download it for offline mode, right?
It's either that, or if that's for the streaming to your mobile handset. I know that they have it for the Nokia stuff, as well as the iPhone and Android platform. Right, I would consider. I mean, $10 a month, or €10. What is that, like $50 a month US? And yeah.
It's like $18.
Okay.
Or 15 or something like that.
But I mean, to have your music in the cloud, I don't know. But the service isn't available in the United States, and I don't know what that is about the IFPI, the RIAA, and a couple more letters with, music royalties. But we're hackers. We really don't care about music royalties. We just want to, get what we want and have it for free or cheap. So we went ahead and thought about, we were going to use one of your shells in the UK,
right,
to go ahead and tunnel through and create this. But then somebody mentioned, in fact, Jan Martin, you may remember him as the guy that brought us some of those awesome PHP and Python SSH scripts from a couple weeks back, said, hey, from what I understand, you only have to have a GeoIP in one of those countries to sign
register.
up. Yeah, to sign up for your account. So I said, really? So anyway, I need to profusely thank, and I'm going to butcher his name because he's from the Netherlands, so send me a WAV file or something. But Yanni, and I'm not going to say your last name in case you're afraid of the Finns coming and busting you, but went ahead and on my behalf, and thank you for people that sent me in invite codes. I now have a couple extra ones, so don't ask me for them. I'm just going to tweet them out there. But yeah, I'm Finn. I'm from Finland now.
You're a Finn.
Did you know this? Yeah.
You're an awesome Finn.
I am from zip code 20810. That's in
awesome.
Finland. Yeah. So, but you have to provide more. You can't just like go ahead and give them a fake zip code in Finland. You do have to have an IP there. So as we were saying before, just own up some Windows 98 machine. I mean, get yourself a shell, right? And they're so mad cheap.
Disclaimer.
Or a friend on IRC.
Or just go to Linode, which has UK shells.
Oh, is that what you're using? Yeah? All right, cool. Well, let's check this out because I just got it going here in Karmic, which I may or may not keep for Mint, but we'll see. And yeah, I've gone ahead and installed it with Wine. Okay. So let me pull this up here.
Nice.
Sweet. Okay, so here we go. I've already looked up 9 Inch Nails and double click on Closer.
So it has ad in the right-hand side. I mean, that's about it.
Oh, yeah, I guess that is an advertisement. Name a band or something.
Do Phil Collins. Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight.
Let's see. Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight.
And instantly starts playing. Hopefully.
And it would if the internet had not gone out. No, I'm still online. I don't know. I'm gonna chalk that up to Wine. It's working though.
Okay.
It is.
It works.
We've been playing with it. Yeah,
right.
I mean, it was just playing 9 Inch Nails.
So
Maybe it just doesn't like
Mac.
Phil Collins. Maybe that's it.
True. It does die every time we've gone to Phil Collins.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But so there's the trick there, and I don't know. Let us know like what your experience is with it. I am going to be trying to get it on my Android phone next, and yeah, if I have to pay a subscription service for it, I don't know. Maybe I could find some easy way to transfer some euros around, make it happen.
Yeah, you might run into some issues where it goes, oh, MasterCard.
MasterCard's
Visa.
everywhere you want to be, or Visa.
Right.
I don't know. I'm going to have to talk to Shannon about that. She works in merchant services doing a whole bunch of fun stuff with credit cards, and she could maybe tell me if there's some encoding that lets you know where the country's from.
Probably.
It's like kind of like how all visas start with 44 and stuff like that.
I wonder if PayPal, if they can do PayPal, because they can't. Well, we'll see.
Anyway, we'll find out. But yeah, hit us up, your feedback on the forums and tweets and all that fun stuff about that. So one other thing before we move on out of this block, you showed me an awesome site a couple weeks ago, and it's perfect that you're here to talk about it because I know that you're a VirtualBox kind of guy. What is this VirtualBox Images all about?
So if you've ever used a VMware appliance, appliances are basically gift-wrapped VMs.
It's a nice term, gift-wrapped. Yeah. No, we did a segment on virtual appliances a little while ago, and I think I butchered the explanation, but I like that. Gift-wrap appliances.
Gift-wrap VMs.
VMs, yeah.
So you just drop them into your VMware workstation, and they start running, and you have a username, password, and whatever it takes to get it going. Mm-hmm. Well, you can do that in VirtualBox. Mm-hmm. It actually has the ability to take in a VMware virtual appliance and run it. However, it doesn't come with the VMware tools. I mean, it comes with VMware tools installed instead of VirtualBox tools, whatever. VirtualBoxImages.com, I believe.
Yeah, that's where it's at.
VirtualBoxImages.com. It has all kinds of different appliances. And sometimes, I found this site better in a sense that it's more user-friendly. Like, you go to exactly what you want and download exactly what you want. And the VMware one is kind of like ad-y. It has it doesn't have ads, but it's like...
It seems more corporate.
It was designed by some marketing guy.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of those, though, are commercial services that have open source distributions. I mean, same thing like we did an example of DimDim, which you can run your own DimDim local instance with their open source edition, and it has a commercial side to it with their subscriptions and stuff like that. But yeah, you're right. This does seem a lot more community focused. In fact, I'm looking at the featured side here. I like this idea. Ubuntu 9.10 server.
Ubuntu.
I'm getting hell for it, so it's Ubuntu, it turns out. And
already
Tomcat and LAMP. I mean, Tomcat LAMP is pretty easy to do on 9.10. But also, we've got Backtrack 4 pre-final. We've got SUSE. We've got GOS.
And they're just there. I mean, it's just 1 or 2 clicks and you got it. And the virtual appliances are a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Anything that makes open source easier.
Yes.
Yeah. Sweet.
So the cool thing is that you can pretty much set up a virtual empire, a virtual
yes, my virtual empire, fully operational battle station. Sorry.
Wow. You want that? You can take that if you want.
No.
You don't want the Star Trek phone?
That's Star Trek. I just did Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
The kid in the back of class is like.
In a couple of those, you can download and get going like in a virtual enterprise and there's another reference. Enterprise, and get going for your like exploitation stuff, like man-in-the-milling or port forwarding or pivoting or whatever.
That's what I do, dude. In fact, later on in this segment, I'm using virtual machines. I mean, I love this little 1.3 gigahertz dual core because it can edit.
That's a nice little tiny one. This 17 inches is a little heavy.
This 13 is the perfect size, but the Power Brick says it all. See YouTube for that. But the
you already posted what?
Yeah, I already. You left. You went upstairs to get some beers, so I did a little bit of YouTubing. I hope you don't mind. I didn't show off your desk or anything. Okay. But anyway, yeah, I don't run my VMs local right now.
That's what you get for putting a podcaster up in your house.
Thank you. Yeah, lend me your couches. We'll put together a Google map and start a Hack Across America tour.
And we'll put everything on the cloud of all your personal stuff.
Well, no, we're not going to do that. But no, I'm putting my virtual images and stuff are in the cloud, if you will. They're back at my quad core at home, just because I can't do these demos quite as well as I would like to on the local machine. Just doesn't have enough horsepower.
This one handles it just fine.
Dude, I swear I am about to move all of my research and development virtual machines into the cloud. I just need a dedicated server, and then there's this VirtualBox front-end web interface. I'm going to show it off on the show here real soon. It's really slick. And then since you've got RDP, remote desktop, to all of these different VMs, I can do all my segments here and like just using the cloud and have like a network out there that I can, because the beautiful thing is, you know, I fire up a, I'm going to be using Samurai WTF operating system. I'm going to be using Backtrack 4. I'm going to need a couple of XP bitches to fuck with. And bam, there you go. You've got, you know, like, God, do you remember when we used to actually build machines? Like physical, and then we'd put them on a network, and it would take like a day just to, you know, take a couple of old P2s so we could try out some exploits. My God. Yeah.
This thing can run all of those all at one time.
Oh, that makes me sick. He's got like a dozen VMs sitting there. Oh, anyway, so long in the A block, of course, but that's just the way we do it. But let's go ahead and move on. In just a bit, we're going to be doing some Midler stuff and find out about the LAN party. But first, I do want to thank our excellent sponsor for making this show happen tonight, and that is Domain.com. Ah, Domain.com, how I love thee. Let me count the ways. I mean, aside from the obvious stuff like .com names for less than $9 a year, or awesome web hosting for less than $6 a month, private registration, and all the fixings without the crazy upsells that you might find somewhere else. And let me tell you, I absolutely love how quick and easy it was for me just recently using Domain.com to set up a site for a client that needed a little prototype action, got an awesome VPS from Domain.com, and it's like, boom, got a domain name, and like within minutes, I mean, I don't know like how long it was ago that it took forever to get a new domain name, but now it's just like, bam, here's the name server, and whoa, look at that, like minutes later, and I can like show the client, and it was so great. It made it so easy in this VPS. With cPanel, you can get them with Plesk, you can get them with Windows, whatever you want. It makes things so easy. It's also great when you come down to the MovX layer, and you don't want to be using anything on this network. You want to SSH tunnel everything, because, you know, your packets, they're safe with Domain.com. So if you're interested in their services, go check them out. They're super cool, and we love them for supporting Hak5. You can even tweet them at Domain.com if you want to show your support there. And get 15% off all your orders over at Domain.com when you use the coupon code HAK, the number 5. If you've got a great idea, it all starts with a great domain at Domain.com.
So check it out, Counter-Strike 1.6. Do you even remember that game? It's the very first LAN party of 2010 for Hak5. You can find it at game.hak5.org, January 30th and 31st. But stay tuned, we have an actual special announcement for the LAN parties, so see you there.
Recently on the show, I talked about a beautiful little man-in-the-middle tool that, among other things, lets you do something really cool with injecting JavaScript, and specifically a keylogger. So it turns out the tool is Midler, and thank you to like the billions of people that emailed me. And yes, it had just slipped my mind. In fact, go back to, I forget the episode number, but it's the ShmooCon 2009 episode where I actually talked to the author, or project lead Jay Beal from InGuardians about the tool. And it just was off my radar for a bit, but let's go ahead and dive in, because this is such a cool tool for doing man-in-the-middle type of stuff, hence the name Midler. So I figured I'd show you guys a little demo here of it. Now, the JavaScript part of this plugin in particular, and let me just go ahead and show you here. So I have this up booted in Samurai WTF. And if you're not familiar with Samurai WTF, it is a web penetration framework. It's an operating system. It's kind of like Backtrack, but basically geared towards web penetration testing. And it makes it easy to get set up with Midler. You could do the same thing in Ubuntu or Backtrack if you really wanted. But I'm here logged in Samurai, and let me just pull that terminal back up. To get set up, simply go ahead and check out the latest version from Subversion, and let's go ahead and take a look at the Midler tool. So we'll notice in libmidler, we actually have our proxies, our plugins, and all the fun stuff really is happening in plugins. So let's check that out. Now currently there are plugins for HTTP as well as SIP. Right now I'm just focused on HTTP, but if you're into the whole like SIP, VoIP hacking and stuff like that, it might be something to check out. So in HTTP, you'll notice that we have a couple of plugins here. Now this is all Python, so we've got a iframe injection, we've got a 301, 302 redirect going on, and we've got an iframe injection that'll actually tie in with Metasploit if you're so keen. I actually have copied in here the plugin underscore keylogger, and I'll go ahead and more that. And you'll notice here it's set up pretty simply. In fact, the READMEs make it pretty easy to understand how to set up, if you're familiar with Python, a plugin for this. And you'll notice that we just have what kind of content we're trying to match. Here you can see we're matching HTML, and we're looking for a specific destination to send the keystrokes back to. And you'll actually see here is the JavaScript that will be injected into every page that falls within that category. And I've gone ahead and actually done this not even with Midler, but just with this JavaScript. And I did just a simple little wget to go ahead and download facebook.com locally and pop this JavaScript right there in the head. And basically what this wants to do is whenever you type a key, it sends a get over to your web server of choice. Of course, I was just setting up a netcat to listen to port 80 on one of the IPs on, I think, a backtrack 4 machine here. You could probably do netgrep or many other different ways to capture those packets coming back to you. But the point being, if you're doing a man-in-the-middle attack with Midler and you get this plugin working, that's the key, then essentially whatever key presses are on the keyboard, specifically in a password field, mind you, they are in real time sent to your Black Hat web server or whatever it may be. And this is beautiful because think about it. How many times have you gone to a website and you've typed multiple passwords? Like, oh, which one is it? And this is great because it would even get like the backspace and typing in another password. So I love the concept here. However, somewhere along the ways there's a few borked bits, and I'll explain that. When I first started playing with this tool, I was using the 1.0 release. I mean, the latest version from SVN, as you should. But it seems that since 0.95 released something or whatever, the JavaScript plugin was removed, as well as another plugin or two, and it's no longer in there, and it's kind of disappointing, and I'm not sure why that is. But then again, this is open source, it's a work in progress, but I have not been able to reproduce this. So that is my sadness for the moment. But gone ahead and done all this research, I've got it going, so why don't we just go ahead and take a look at what does come with the 1.0 release. And I'm sure if you're savvy enough and have more time than I have in research, you might be able to get it. So let's go ahead and quit out of this, and I'm going to go ahead and begin a little Arb caching of one of the clients here, one of my virtual machines. You see I've got like a little Windows XP bitch box hanging out here on the network, and let's just pretend we've already scanned it, but we know that its IP is 10.10.0.188. And the nice thing about Midler is that it has functions to go ahead and use dsniff, or ARP spoof if you will, to go ahead and do the ARP spoofing for you, or Scapy, which is another way to do it as well. That's a Python module. So getting it set up, supposedly Midler does all of that for you. If I actually look at the latest version of the code, however, all of that seems to be commented out. Like I said, work in progress, still a cool piece of code, but we will go ahead and begin our man-in-the-middle attack ourselves. Now, you know me, typically I like to use a fawn router, a fawn plus router, and whatever configuration, Yazaga, interceptor, but it's also fun to go ahead and do it the old-fashioned way. So let's go ahead and get our target spoofed. So first thing we need to do is make sure that our machine that we're doing the attack from is set up in IP forward mode. So let's take a look. We'll cat this file here, and that is in /proc sys net IPv4, and it's IP_forward. And you can see here it's actually set to 0, and I just need to go ahead and set that to a 1 to enable IP forwarding. So we'll just echo 1 to that right there. Oops, I forgot a waka. And I don't know why I call it a waka, but I do. And if we cat that file again, we can see now it is in fact a 1. So we've gone ahead and done that. Let's go ahead and tweak our IP tables so that 80 is going to come back at ourselves, and then Midler can have all its fun. So IP tables, and TAC T, we're going to use NAT, TAC A for pre-routing, and TAC P for our protocol, we're going to use TCP. Destination port is 80. We're going to redirect it to port 80 locally. And I should probably also make sure that Apache is down because it's probably listening on 80. So, all right, and now we are ready to go ahead and start Arb spoofing our victim here. So we're going to tell it that we are the router, we're going to tell the router that we are it, and essentially we are going to position ourselves right in between to have a lot of fun, take advantage of those TCP packets. Let's go ahead and Arb spoof. Our interface is F0, and our target is 10.10.0.188 and 10.10.0.1 for the router. There are 2 O's in Arb spoof. And there we go. So now let's come back over to our new terminal, which is being a little funky, but that's probably because I am remote desktoped into a VM that is not a very happy VM at the moment. So we'll open up a new terminal here. Now it's simply a matter of running sudo python and midler.py. Now, there are a couple of command line arguments if we do want to tell it not to Arb spoof, if we need a specific interface, but actually you really don't need to specify anything because by default out of the box it just uses all of your interfaces, and if the code wasn't commented out for the Arb spoof, it would go ahead and do everybody on the network, supposedly. I like having the control just by doing it yourself. But as you can see here, it is running and it's redirecting, UDP, TCP, it's looking for port 80, and it's going to do all the fun stuff that we have in our plugins directory. All those plugins that were in that /plugin are just going to go ahead and execute. And one in particular is looking for any traffic to one of my favorite websites, /dot.org. I used to have quite the addiction. Then I got the /dot patch, and now I'm all good. So we're over back to the XPVM, and let's just make sure we can go to example.com. And there we go. So we are online. Everything is going good. So let's browse over to /dot.org. And you notice something a little strange about this? Yes, there we go. We actually have the Midler logo at the top of the screen in an iframe, and that's the beauty of this, right? So it is just taking advantage of the HTML that we asked for. It said, oh hey, you want that web page? Cool, let me give you the web page, a little bit extra, right? So this iframe, sure, it's the Midler logo at the top of the page. Maybe it could be the goatse image at the top of the page. Maybe it could actually be something malicious. There's actually a payload in here that will basically, I forget the name of it, it's beef, no, not beef, I'm sorry. It's the Metasploit iframe, which Mubix could probably talk about a lot more in depth than I could, but suffice it to say, once you're taking advantage of the page that's displaying on their system, you've got local JavaScript and a bunch of other fun things that you could do to social engineer your way in or whatever to take advantage of this machine. I mean, if you really just want to put kittens on the screen, you could do that too. But anyway, that is the Midler. I'm looking forward to your feedback. I'm going to keep playing with this because I really want to get that JavaScript working. So I'll go ahead and post what I've found on the forums. Hopefully we can collaborate together and get this working all snappy and stuff. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, hit me up, feedback@hak5.org, and find the show notes at hak5.org. Last week's trivia question was, World of Goo developers share the same open source physics engine as what 2007 first-person shooter? Now this was correctly answered by Dids, who wrote in, it's Stalker, and it's the Open Dynamics physics engine, and it's very cool. If you want to play with it, check out the links in the show notes and all that stuff. And congratulations, Dids. We will be sending you Pronobozo's album 0 = 1 = everything. Pronobozo, if you guys aren't aware, is a lot of the music that you hear in Hak5, and just a little bird told me that there might be a new Pronobozo album coming out like any moment now. Very excited. So I'm up in Toronto, so excited about that stuff. Now, to get your own copy, you can enter into this week's trivia question. The Smashing Pumpkins included Doom sound samples in their song Where Boys Fear to Tread as an acknowledgement to what band referencing cheat code? Of course, you can submit your answers to trivia@hak5.org. And of course, we want to thank one of the awesome sponsors that keeps Hak5 on the air. So I want to tell you about Gamefly, because if you love video games, you're going to love their service. They are the largest online video game rental service with over 7,000 new and classic titles on all consoles and handhelds to choose from. Their plans start at $15.99 a month, and Gamefly members can rent from 1 to 4 games at any time and keep them for as long as you like. You don't have to send them back. And when you do, they send you another one. If you really like the game, you can go over to Gamefly.com, click Keep It, and you get to keep it at a discounted rate. Best of all, Hak5 fans get a free 2-week trial when they go over to Gamefly.com/Hak5. Some restrictions apply. See site for details. So Rob, continuing on with the theme of this episode, the awesome tools, if only they were well documented. What is this framework we're looking at?
The social engineering toolkit, actually. It's done by David Kennedy. Also goes by Relic from the offensive security guys.
Yeah, I know.
So he created this toolkit. I don't know if he had help or not. Again, documentation lacking.
But what does this framework do? So you mentioned social engineering. I understand that is the hacking the human OS, if you will.
Right.
The I'm going to convince you I am who I say I am because I happen to be wearing a Comcast polo shirt and I have a lineman's handset.
So there's a bunch of things that this thing can do. Mostly it's through email. It can clone websites to fake like a JavaScript attack, and that's what we're going to be showing. There's a bunch of other stuff in there that I can't exactly remember right now, but that's okay because we're going to show the one I do remember.
Excellent. Well, let's do a demo.
Awesome.
So you're saying duplicated website. What do you really mean by that?
It basically takes just the front page of it.
Okay.
And W gets it in a sense. And I don't know if that's how it's Python, so it doesn't use W get, but it shows the page that you want, and then it will initiate a Java payload against you using Metasploit. So you'll have Java little pop-up say, "Would you like to run this?" Mm-hmm. And you're like, "Sure." It says Microsoft on it.
Oh, okay. All right.
So we're gonna show you.
All right. So let's walk through. So
awesome.
Let's go ahead, clone some websites, and do a little bit of phishing and fun stuff like that.
So
there is a legitimate purpose for this, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Well.
Oh no, yeah. In pen testing, when you actually have the go ahead, the green light for social engineering via email, this is one of the definite ways you want to go because Java is so easy, and it's a full payload, so you get the interpreter shell back.
Nice.
Instead of any like browser hits where you have to get the browser exploit that is required, and I mean that stuff is really difficult and really technical and sexy, but this is the
human aspect.
Human aspect.
I like that.
You need interaction.
But the important part of what you just said there was this is for the, when you get the green light on the penetration test from the company that has hired you to. This isn't for getting your ex-boyfriend's MySpace password. Just throwing that out there.
But my boyfriend. Okay.
Your boyfriend. We're gonna take that offline.
No, we're really not.
So let's see this.
All right. So first, you want to edit the config. I'm sorry. Config. Inside, you got set config. I'm a nano guy. All right, down. And I've already edited it in web attack _ email. You just turn it to on. So we're gonna do a web attack via email.
Woohoo!
It's real simple. Set. All right. Next up, website Java applet attack. Cool. Mm-hmm. We're going to send it to a single email. I'm going to hack you. Who do we want to send to? Darren at hak5.org. And we're going to use my Gmail account. What do you want to do? Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook. There we go. Go ahead and just own up my Facebook so you can...
All right. Check. The subject of this is check out this new Facebook app.
Yeah, I just click ignore in the top right on all of those, but sure, let's go for it because I'm sure there's someone in the organization that is crazy about Farmville or something.
Here's the link below. You're actually typing into the body right now, so it's asking you the subject and your Gmail account, your email. You can actually use your own server for relaying it, or any open relay if you want to. So you don't have to use Gmail, but it's nice to have Gmail built into the tool.
Yeah.
So you actually have to put a link in the email, like I didn't do it.
Right, because you're not. This isn't going to be Facebook.com, obviously.
Right.
So that's
it's
where
just port 80.
Yeah. All right.
So
this is where the middler would come in play if we were, Arb spoofing the victim, and we use like a 301 redirect, so that as soon as they went over to Facebook.com, it would actually forward them over to like the IP address of your evil server that is waiting to pwn me with that and maybe mask the URL somehow.
Okay.
So
I put in the link. I put in like, here's the link below. Control-C to and the email. So it's actually going to send you an email, but I think this is a little reversed in this sense because it sends you the email before it sets up the services.
Oh, great. So I get the email and then I start checking in.
If you check it right now, it's not going to have anything.
Well, how about you just be quick and I will slowly check my Gmail.
As soon as I can't be quick until it sends the email.
Oh, okay.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go.
So of course, as soon as we wrap the segment, we get it working, right? That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So what was the trick?
Well, first of all, it didn't like Windows 7 or Ubuntu, like we said, and
nothing likes Windows 7 sometimes.
So we got an XP VM going. Didn't have Java. Had to install Java.
All right.
Had to reboot all kinds of.
But it's vanilla XP with Java. I mean, plenty of those clients out there.
Well, except for like one patch. I think I don't have Windows or IE 8 on it. But
great. Let's give it a shot.
All right, there's
all right, Facebook. Oh, there we go.
And then we have Microsoft Update, Microsoft Corporation. Yay, finally actually working.
Exactly. And what do we tell our users? Use Windows Updates. So go ahead and run it. Yeah.
Run. Okay, they don't see anything. They can actually even close this, and it's not going to do any
really
good.
I like that. Okay, cool.
So
we've already done what we needed to.
Yeah, we got them interpreter show.
That's it. And now we can pull up a shell on them.
Gotta get into the session. Bam, that's everything they're running.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So once again, Windows 7, for the win? We gonna give mad props to it?
Yeah, I guess
You know what's nice? Windows 7, the Ultimate Edition and the Enterprise, whatever it is, has a XP compatibility mode.
It does.
To get exploited easier, right? More easily. Easier.
Well, you have to get user interaction first, too.
Well, I guess that's where the social engineering comes in.
True.
But nonetheless, nifty, and I'm glad that we could get that quick save in there. Ooh, real quick, I want to mention to you guys something about the Spotify that we were talking about earlier in the show. We did a little bit of research between now and then, and it turns out that if you use the service in the free default mode or whatever, and you have your friend in Finland set you up with an account, well, every 14 days you need to re-log in to that account from that IP in Finland, otherwise your account will get disabled. Sad. But if you pay the 10 euros a month or whatever it is, you get a premium account so that you can use the iPhone app, the Android app, the Nokia app, and then they really don't care if you're wherever because you're a world traveler.
Nice.
And they're taking PayPal, and I love business models based on, well, everybody knows what's going on. Yes. You're saying that there's another way to do it on the iPhone as well?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. The iPhone app actually has a app called Spot, which is the Spotify. It uses the open source library file for it, and you can actually tunnel that through an SSH, so you can be home all the time and just use the app.
Nice. Anyway, thought we would run that by you guys. Now let's go, I think, one of the awesome people that keep Hak5 on the air. So you've heard me talk to you guys about GoToAssist Express before, and you know that I absolutely love it when it comes to supporting my workforce because it's just so simple to send them a link in an email or just go to a website and type in a 9-digit code, and then boom, I'm on their desktop helping them with whatever they broke, and trust me, they find a way to break it. But there's another feature of GoToAssist Express that just saved my day just a little while ago when I was in Toronto. seems that I went out to a Hak5 meetup and had a blast. And I don't know how, but I ended up at Pronobozo's house instead of back at my other friend's house where I was encoding the episode, and I really needed to upload it to revision 3 so that you guys could see it in the morning. And I was not at my PC to get that going, but I was smart and I set up GoToAssist Express on my laptop with the unattended support. So bam, right from his desktop, I've downloaded GoToAssist and boom, back on my laptop, you know, G-zipping Hak5 into 20 megabit chunks and using that beautiful Rogers internet in Canada to upload a grueling 1.5 gigabytes to San Francisco. Point being, GoToAssist Express is that awesome. It helps you reduce your travel time. In my case, it was travel time across from Toronto to Etobicoke that saved my butt when I wasn't in any state to be moving anywhere. And it will totally do the same thing for you. I know that you guys are gonna love it. It saves the day at so many times. It's so much cheaper than doing all that stuff in person. And it's totally secure 128-bit end-to-end. So go ahead and get yourself a 30-day free trial. You're gonna love it. Just go over to gotoassist.com/HAK the number 5, and that's how you get that awesome offer. It helps support us, and you know, just give it a shot. You're gonna like it.
All right, this month's contest, the best 2010 wallpaper. We've just rolled in a new decade, and I really want to see your images for the hak5.org/forums to submit it as community images.
The biggest consumer electronics show in the world is happening this week in Las Vegas. It's CES, and Revision 3 is out in force with HD Nation, Techzilla. I know we'll be there reviewing products, checking out all the booths. So be sure to tune in at revision3.com/CES to stay up to the minute on all the goodies starting January 6th. Tune in. Well, that just about wraps up this episode of Hak5, but of course you guys know before we get going, we got a couple of your questions to answer and a whole bunch of fun stuff like that. So let's just go ahead and kick it off. We got one in from Blue Man's
What was that?
I don't know. I think that's his handle. And it says, and he's like, and this came in from Twitter, and he's wondering, hey, when are we going to see some MAC address spoofing? Because we were talking about on last week's episode IP spoofing. Because you know the misconception about IP spoofing and the whole yeah. So
what's the purpose of MAC address changing first?
Okay, here's and this is just based on my paranoia. This is the only thing I can think of is if I'm on an open Wi-Fi and I'm having a little bit too much fun, or maybe, you know, I'm taking my pineapple from conference to conference. Exactly, yeah. I want to change my MAC addresses just so that, you know, when the NSA does do that, you know, search and seizure, the MAC address that they have at the coffee shop with the exploit isn't going to match up to mine.
Or if you do something like man in the middle, and then they start looking at their logs and start seeing, oh, there's this MAC address, let's find it on the network.
Right. Now, I've heard that there's like MAC address-based authentication. I mean, you know that in Wi-Fi, there's MAC address-based authentication.
Right.
But
and next
really, does anybody use that? Really? In your experience, have you ever really seen it?
Yeah. Cisco, what is it called? Port security? Port security does it?
Outside of Wi-Fi, have you ever seen MAC address as authentication? Yeah.
Not that I recall.
Yeah, it just seems like, really? Because it's not authentication. It's not, you know, something.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one more layer. I mean.
Okay, fine. Throw in some more layers. But yes, you can go ahead and spoof your Mac. It's actually pretty easy in Linux. There are a million ways to do it, it seems. In fact, let me just go ahead and pull this up. Like, I think we showed this off with the zippets, but basically, yeah, right here, ifconfig. And then, yeah, we just say hardware ether, and then you just give it whatever you want, and boom, there you go. I mean, bring down your interface, change it, bring it back up.
Yeah, but 1111 is going to kind of show up and stand out.
So you'll come up with something a little bit more original.
So let's try Mac Changer. Well, with Mac Changer, the GNU version, you have 3 options that I like. TAC R is randomized, so it's just completely random. TAC uppercase A, lowercase a, do it by vendor, like a random vendor, so it will come up as Cisco, or it'll come up as whatever, Texas Instruments or whatever.
Nice.
And it'll be a pseudo-random.
So if you get on a network where there's a whole bunch of Intel NICs and you just kind of want to blend in.
You can actually do it by name, I believe. So you can actually go, I want this vendor. Whatever.
Okay, I like that. So that's Mac Changer. I think I've used it once before. Yeah, that is Linux. There are ways to do this in Windows. There's actually,
Really?
there's, well, our boy Adrian, Iron Geek.
Iron Geek, the man.
Iron Geek has a way to do it. He's basically put together, it's called Mad Max, and it's basically based on an auto IT script. It's all compiled and easy to use. And if you head over to irongeek.com, we'll have links in the show notes, or just Google Mad MACS. You'll probably get some Mac fanboy stuff, but you'll also get Iron Geek's app that makes it easier to change your Mac address in Windows, but you can do the long and hard way through the registry, where you can just go ahead and get this tool.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good tools over there, so they should check out the rest of it stuff.
Yeah, it's a great site. In fact, he even links to, at the end of his article, a tool called Mac Randomizer, even on the Hak5 wiki. Awesome place to go. It's a shell script that just makes it easy to go ahead and do the same thing in Linux again. So there you go. There are a couple of options for you.
Awesome.
Yeah. We also had a question, I think this came in from Stone33, was asking about online collaboration. He wondered what we thought about Google Wave, and was looking for something easy to do collaboration. Now, you know the scripts we do, and when I say script, I mean it's a loose term just saying what we're supposed to talk about and what block. But that's all done in a Google Doc. That's just the way it's always been done on Hak5, and makes it easy. It's not really real time. I mean, Google Docs is somewhat real time, but
not really. I mean, you have to. It waits till someone edits and then saves, and then changes and saves.
It's nice in Excel, or the
Excel one actually
version
changes.
The spreadsheet. You can see like the people moving around, and have little fights with them. What's this one that you're all crazy about right now?
Etherpad, and we've actually been using it on SecureBit for a while, and they showed it to me, so it's definitely not my.
Your pick here.
All right, hello, this is Rob. And it comes up pretty fast.
That's excellent. I mean, that really reminds me of, remember like TTY on Unix back in the day?
We can still do that with screen.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is great.
I've shown you screen before.
Yeah, no,
like 9 billion times I've shown you screen.
I don't need to be shown screen again. I swear everybody shows me screen. I'm like, all right, that's nice. Anyway, I know.
You still don't use it.
Well, as soon as I grok it better, I'm sure I would if I used it, but I just open a new tab. You know? Whatever. Control
You can daemonize anything.
Yeah?
Anything. You daemonize anything.
Most of the things I want to daemonize have like a TAC B background option, or I'll just, or I'll Control Z it and then hit BG.
All right, so what the best thing...
Isn't that what I'm... that's the screen, right?
Say you putty in, or you SSH into something, right?
Uh-huh.
You run something.
Yeah.
And you don't know if your connection's going to get, or say you're in a Wi-Fi spot and you run something, or you want something to complete, but your flight starts going, right? Or your flight starts boarding.
Yeah.
So then you want it to keep running, but how are you going to keep it running? As soon as you get out of that console, you're done. So in a screen, you just Control A-G, screen goes off into no la la land, keeps running. You get on your flight, you get them back down, screen back in.
And right now, all the Linux guys are going, uh-huh, and everybody else is going, what? But that's okay. No, I need
awesome.
to. Okay, well, I'll figure it out. I will.
Better.
I will. That's my homework. See, I just got homework. That's what happens when you come down to Mubix's place. So yeah, this looks like
tasks.
So this looks like a great alternative, a lightweight alternative to something like Google's Wave, which is big and awesome, and as soon as we figure out what to do with it, that'll be great.
As soon as we figure out what it's for.
It's a great solution.
It's like IRC without the
No, it's
timing.
nothing like IRC.
What is it for? Like,
I don't know. It's
okay, define it then.
It's
a
solution.
If you're going to complain, define it.
It's a solution. We just don't have the problem for it yet.
It replaces email.
Yes. Speaking of email, you guys know you can always email us. Feedback@hak5.org is the way you just round up the troops and you let everyone know on that one distro list. Or if you want to email us individually, I'm Darren at hak5.org.
Oh, yeah, I'm Mubix at hak5.org.
Yeah,
actually.
that's
Cool.
not like kick.
Oh,
yeah. And just guess what everybody else's is, because it's exactly what you think it is.
Probably.
And yeah, you can also tweet us. You can find @Hak5 on Twitter, and that's where you'll find the listing of everybody else. You can friend us up on Facebook. There's I finally figured out Facebook a couple weeks ago, and now I'm posting stuff to YouTube on it and everything. No, I just
one by one.
It just clicked one day. Same thing will happen with Screen. So that's
right.
Facebook.com/technolust. Yes, she has a fan page. Yeah. So anyway.
I couldn't even figure out how to make a fan page.
Wow, we are noobs when it comes to social networking. But if you ask about Mac spoofing,
Nice.
broken my laptop here. Now I really do feel like it's.
Speaking of which, there was actually a cross-site scripting in the iPhone app for Facebook today.
Yeah. I saw that link. That looks good.
So the thing is, it renders HTML in your notes. So I'm sure there's
the
more
Notes
research
app-
to be.
the
The
Notes
notes
app-
portion of the iPhone app
Oh, okay. Renders
for
HTML.
Facebook. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So I mean, I don't know if you can. I don't know if there's any other places where it renders HTML like
Some fuzzing is in order.
Yeah. So interesting stuff is going to happen.
Sweet. Well, anyway, with all of that said, we are going to be back next week, coming to you guys from CES. So if you have anything that you're interested in seeing from the
I'm
show
hiding in
floor,
your suitcase.
yeah, and be sure to keep an eye on hak5.org for all of that excitement, and tune into the blogs and the Twitter and all that fun stuff. Follow what we're doing out there in Vegas, and then hopefully, we will be back in studio with the red walls and the prettiness and all that good stuff here shortly. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Until then, we're reminding you.
We are reminded you.
That's my kick it over to you.
Oh,
again.
that again.
Yeah, that again.
To trust your technologist.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Spotify from the United States, MAC address filtering, that's wrong, it's spoofing. Hello and welcome to Hak5. My name is Darren Kitchen.
Holy shit, we're starting.
Oh yeah, that's how it goes.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I'll give you a little bit of warning now.
Oh, I thought we were starting already.
Oh well, you can't do a false start and then keep going.
Why?
Well, because now the audience is very confused and we look very unprofessional.
I thought unprofessional was the key to like, success.
Well, there's unprofessional and then there's unprepared.
Oh, well, I'm always yeah.
Yeah, or unsomething. Let's try that again. This time at the
So check it out. The very first LAN party of Hak5. How does that work?
of man-in-the-middle attacks with Midler, the social engineering toolkit, using Spotify from the I said, I'm stuck. Oh my god, fucking move. I don't even have mouse anymore. It's stuck inside the VM. We are at the Mubix layer doing a little bit of man-in-the-middle attacks with Midler, the social engineering words. Welcome to the Mubix network.
Shut up.
I have never had so many network issues in one night, but I think you need a new router, dude.
Yeah.
We'll
I
have
don't
to
know what's
get-
going on with it.
I got the droid tethering though.
Yeah.
Happy. This time I had
This week's is it a week or a month? Sorry.
This time on Hak5, we are at the Mubix layer. Yes, that's where we are. Somewhere along the way, there was a borked bit, and you know what? At this point, 4 hours later, I'm happy to say that borked or not, the demo.
Fail.
Okay, fine. We're gonna get fail whales on this, but
Yeah, it failed.
yeah, all right. I'm fine with that at this point. Well, I don't have Java installed on that VM. Yet more fail.
Awesome.